Welcome to Cooking with Gametown Walk-thru. Today we'll be making Radtoad in the hole with a side of brain fungus. Here's all the ingredients you're going to need. But before we get started, let's enter the cooking station to check the recipes. I suggest you take a screenshot if you don't have a photographic memory. Here's the recipe for the onion gravy. Oh goody, it calls for Worcestershire sauce. And for the meat, you're going to want 2 to 4 pork sausages, or wieners, or not dogs. And now for the toughest part of the recipe, the Yorkshire pudding. Just remember to accurately measure your eggs. This is science. All right, now for the veggies. Green potatoes, sweet peas, and mushrooms. Okay, now that we have our recipes, it's time to do this for real. First, assemble all of the ingredients for the Yorkshire pudding batter. Then, pour your accurately measured 1 cup of lightly beaten eggs into a bowl. Then gracefully add to it 1 cup of flour and mix it up until it isn't lumpy anymore. Then add 1/4 cup of water to your 3/4 cup of milk and add it gracefully to your bowl as well. Now go ahead and whisk it gently before adding a pinch of pepper and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. The chef's secret ingredient is 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise, which ensures a better rise and helps prevent deflation. Now it's time to store your batter in the fridge to keep it cold while you boil the kale. Salt the water and add your kale once it starts boiling. Make sure to stir it now and then. And while that's boiling away, go ahead and peel and dice your potatoes. When the kale is ready, transfer it to a blender along with the butter, milk, and salt and pepper to taste. Then add your potatoes to the kale water. Cover them with a lid and boil them until tender. Oh, now it's time for you to bake your sausages and dice your onion and optional garlic. At this point, you're going to want to saute your mushrooms and your onions separately in butter while you warm your peas. Once the potatoes are ready and strained, add the kale puree and mash it up well. We're aiming for a nice, consistent green color. And now it's time to make the onion gravy. Add 3 tablespoons of flour and stir for 1 minute before gradually adding 2 cups of beef stock, salt and pepper to taste, and a 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Remember to keep stirring it as it reduces down. But don't forget you've got sausages in the oven. And it's time for my favorite part. Place your sausages into a very hot baking dish with 1/4 cup of melted beef drippings. Then pour the batter in until it's about 1/3 of the way up the sausages. It's very important that the beef drippings be hot and the batter be cold before putting it into the oven. Then bake it for 25 minutes on the top shelf. And don't you dare open the oven for at least 20 minutes or else it might collapse. And there you have it. All that's left to do now is plating. Then add a little gravy, and it's ready. Et voila! I give you Radtoad in the hole with a side of brain fungus. What do you think? Trust me, it tastes absolutely divine. And it's really easy to make. It's just toad in the hole with kale potatoes, peas, mushrooms, and gravy. Anyone can do it. So why don't you give it a try? Don't let the color hold you back. Remember, kale is so good for you. Bon appétit! Oh, and here are some pro tips. Very important information. Best read it all. Oh, and this one's worth writing down. It'll make or break your entire meal. This part's pretty easy, but it does warrant some review. And make sure you've preheated your oven to the correct temperature. It's very important. And don't you dare open that oven for the first 20 minutes, or you'll have a colossal failure. Best wishes from my kitchen to yours. Happy cooking! This is where the magic happens. I'm talking into that microphone right now. And just in case you're wondering about that stick, it's a holly twig, my only piece of Hollywood.